second time. I call the Minister in reply.
Thank you very much, Mr Temporary Speaker, and can I thank you for your support of this bill and your passion for putting consumers in New South Wales first. Can I also take this opportunity to thank all honourable members for their contribution to the debate on the Fair Trading Amendment, Ticket Scalping and Gift Cards Bill 2017. And I'd particularly like to thank my colleagues, the member for Terrigal, member for Drummoyne, member for Granville, member for Manly, member for the Entrance, member for Seven Hills, member for Lake Macquarie, member for Coogee, member for Newtown, member for Epping, member for Balmain, member for Gosford, member for Bankstown, member for Sydney. And I'd also like to signal out in particular the member for Swansea, my shadow counterpart. She is someone genuinely committed to putting consumers first. I've had a constructive working relationship with her the entire time I've been the Minister, and on this bill she's been exceptional, and I want to thank her for her efforts, and I want to thank her for continuing to focus on working with me to put consumers in New South Wales first. I'd like to briefly comment on the issues raised during the debate. First in relation to ticket scalping, and then I'll move to gift cards. Mr Temporary Speaker, as honourable members have heard, the Fair Trading Amendment Ticket Scalping Bill 2017 will put consumers first and introduce measures to improve information transparency in the primary and secondary ticket markets, prevent price gouging by dishonest scalpers, and ban the use of bots to buy tickets in breach of a website's terms and conditions. Ordinary sports and live entertainment fans are finding it harder and harder to access tickets to see their favourite sports teams to play or performance artists in concert. Often the only way they can access tickets is to be charged massively marked up prices by scalpers in the resale market. The Fair Trading Amendment Bill will prohibit profiteering from the resale of sporting and entertainment venue event tickets. It will prohibit anyone from reselling a ticket to a New South Wales event for more than the original sale price or face value, plus a transaction cost capped at a maximum of 10% of the original sale price. This means that tickets to these events cannot be resold for more than 10% above their original price. Such a measure will allow ordinary consumers to resell their tickets should they no longer be able to attend an event after purchasing tickets, and it will stop ticket scalpers from profiteering at the expense of ordinary and genuine fans. In an Australian first, the New South Wales Government will be cracking down on ticket bots, which is security manipulation software that allows scalpers to buy tickets in unauthorised high quantities. So, Mr Temporary Speaker, we will stop the bots. The new laws will make it illegal to use a bot to cheat the system and purchase more tickets than the ticketing site allows. We need to stop this market distortion and to give access to tickets back to genuine fans. Fans should also know how many tickets are available to the public for sale, and it's for this reason the bill confers on the Minister a new power to require event organisers to make a public disclosure of the number of tickets available for public sale. The power is intended to be used only for major events where it's in the public interest to disclose the number of tickets that are available. By improving the information available to consumers in both the resale and official ticket markets, the Fair Trading Amendment Bill 2017 will protect consumers and provide greater transparency. Because the anti-scalping measures in this bill are being inserted into the Fair Trading Act, the enforcement options under the Australian Consumer Law become available to both the regulator, the New South Wales Fair Trading, and the industry participant themselves, should they want to bring legal action to stop scalping operations. Yeah. The bill provides that breaches of the ticket scalping measures are local contraventions of the Australian Consumer Law. This means that if a prosecution is brought against scalpers for a breach of these provisions, the remedies under the Australian Consumer Law include injunctions, orders for compensation, adverse publicity orders and the like. The bill also provides for substantial maximum penalties for breaches of these new anti-scalping laws. A $22,000 maximum fine for an individual and a $110,000 maximum fine for a corporation. A strong deterrence to the rip-off merchants and resale sites that have been conning New South Wales consumers for too long. New South Wales Fair Trading is active in the marketplace every day, protecting consumers, monitoring compliance, educating traders and taking enforcement action against flagrant violations of the state's consumer laws. I'm not going to stand for it. I'm sick and tired of New South Wales consumers being ripped off And these laws will go a long way to protecting genuine fans when they're just trying to get tickets to see the sporting events or music concerts that they want to see. I now turn to the issues raised by the opposition. The Shadow Minister contends that the bill neither outlaws nor legalises the on-selling of tickets. I absolutely commend her interest in consumer protection. She's been an outstanding advocate for consumers and worked very closely with me in developing these consumer-friendly laws. But on this instance, I'd just like to suggest that that's not the case. Not the case in terms of that the bill doesn't outlaw nor legalises the on-selling of tickets. Section 58J of the bill does exactly that. It offers consumers protection in the secondary market by legitimising the resale of tickets within the 10% markup cap. If a genuine consumer, not a scalper, resells a ticket within that 110% limit, then the person who buys that ticket should not be refused entry to the event simply because they hold a resold ticket. Section 58J makes void any term or condition of a ticket that authorises its cancellation within the fair and reasonable 110% limit. At a price above that, we are trying to provide a disincentive for the ticket scalpers and rogue agents that want to gouge genuine fans. So we want to smash the Viagogo and Ticketmaster resale business model, which thrives as a result of massively inflated prices and price gouging, which has been going on the market for a long time. I also want to respond to the member for Swansea's contention that the bill does nothing to combat fraud in the secondary market. First and foremost, several features of the bill severely reduce the incentive for scalpers to engage in fraudulent resale of tickets. Profiteering is prohibited through the 10% resale markup cap. The prohibition on bot activity in the unauthorised purchase of tickets will also severely restrict the scalper's ability to engage in fraud. Second, fraud is already illegal, and fair trading and other law enforcement authorities can take action. I myself, as the Minister, as well as New South Wales Fair Trading, regularly warn consumers about the hazards of the secondary market and ways to avoid fraud. I know a number of members mentioned the problems they were having buying tickets to Pink, and I will address this very important issue in my second read. The Honourable Member referred to the website selling Pink tickets going into meltdown so fans could not buy tickets. Well, let me say this. The primary reason that the website is slow or goes into meltdown is because of the use of ticket bots. And this bill is designed to smash the bots, to stop the bots. So that will provide, we expect to see a massive increase in the speed of fans being able to get access to tickets as a result of the bots which are currently slowing down purchasing websites. Ticket bots can frequently cause the jamming of websites, so ordinary consumers cannot buy tickets and scalpers can move in and harvest large numbers of tickets for themselves. So this bill that's proposed, it will sort the situation out and address that issue. With regards to transparency in the secondary ticket market, fans should also know what they're buying and when they transact in the secondary market. For this reason, the bill increases the information that must be included when a ticket is being resold. For example, details of the ticket, such as the bay, seat and row numbers, and the original sale prices are now required to be included. The member for Swansea has also asserted that the information requirements imposed by the bill on the secondary market will provide a greater incentive for fraud. The government disagrees and firmly sees that these transparency measures are putting consumers first. The bill provides for an offence for the publication of a prohibited advertisement which carries the same substantial maximum penalties as the other offences in the bill. The government did not support an amendment in the other place inserting a 3-year review clause to the bill. New South Wales Fair Trading keeps all consumer protection laws under constant review, and if there are any indications that these laws are not working as intended, the government will not wait for 3 years to review them. And can I just address that as well? I note the member for Swansea's intentions here are good and noble, but what I will say is this. We need to be regularly monitoring these laws and the effectiveness of them. And I don't want to put an arbitrary time frame in place, whether it be 3 years or 5. 5 is the normal statutory review period. We need to make sure that our laws are moving and evolving as quickly as the technology is evolving. So I'll undertake to the member for Swansea for us collaboratively working together to keep a watching brief on how effective these laws at combating ticket scalping and price gouging, and if we need to make further adjustments, then I'm very keen to work with the member to do so. What our priority here is putting consumers first, making sure our fans can get a fair chance of getting access to tickets at a fair and reasonable price. Websites based outside of New South Wales or overseas which market and sell to consumers in New South Wales are subject to the laws of New South Wales and to the requirements of this bill. So that includes Viagogo, that includes Ticketmaster Resale. The Fair Trading Act has extraterritorial operation, and it is noted that the ACCC is currently prosecuting the Swiss-based company Viagogo for breaches of the Australian consumer law. New South Wales Fair Trading has arrangements with regulators in other jurisdictions and has had experience in taking enforcement action against businesses operating outside New South Wales. If companies like Viagogo want to continue to try and rip off consumers in New South Wales, then we will do what is necessary to protect them. That is my undertaking here today. The opposition has remarked that the prohibition on the use of ticket bots should be able to keep up with developments in technology, and I absolutely agree. The bill is drafted with this in mind and will be able to cover new technologies. Firstly, the prohibition in the bill is broadly drafted and prohibits the use of software to enable or assist a person to buy tickets in contravention of the website's terms and conditions. Secondly, the bill has a regulation-making power which enables the security features of a website to be prescribed, and this will enable new technological developments to be prescribed. Obviously, the technology is moving pretty quickly. We need to continue to make sure that our laws are able to keep pace with the changes in technology. What we want to do is crack down on dodgy ticket scalpers. What we want to do is bust their business model and give fans a genuine chance of getting tickets at a fair and reasonable price. The opposition has also referred to the need for nationally consistent legislation addressing ticket scalping. Couldn't agree more. The issue of ticket scalping has been discussed by the Legislative and Governance Forum on Consumer Affairs, the CAF, which comprises the Consumer Affairs Ministers of all Australian jurisdictions. The Commonwealth Treasury will undertake a regulatory assessment of ticket scalping, ticket online selling, and present to CAF ministers with an options paper in 2018. New South Wales supports nationally consistent ticket scalping laws. However, given New South Wales is attracting increasing numbers of high-profile events and international acts, it's important the New South Wales Government act now. Consumers and some industry stakeholders have been calling for government intervention to stop the rort, and with this bill, the New South Wales Government convincingly answers that call. I'm going to make no apologies that New South Wales leads the country when it comes to these tough anti-scalping laws, and we call on the Commonwealth and other states and territories to put their consumers first and match us when it comes to protecting consumers trying to buy tickets online. Mr. Temporary Speaker, I'll turn my attention now to gift cards, which has been a very well-received announcement, I have to say. As honourable members have heard, the Fair Trading Amendment Gift Cards Bill 2017 will put consumers first and sets out provisions for gift cards to have a minimum gift card expiry date period of 3 years and no post-purchase administrative fees. Consumers have been suffering a significant financial loss for some time due to gift cards expiring with the value left on them, and this just isn't good enough. Mr. Speaker, every year $60 million of hard-working New South Wales money is lost because of early expiry dates on gift cards, and this bill is seeking to address that. We believe, Mr. Speaker, that people deserve to get what they pay for. We believe that when you hand over your hard-earned cash, you have every right to expect to get a good or service in return for that. And that's why we're moving to introduce minimum 3-year expiry dates on gift cards. And I note the amendment proposed by the Greens, and I'll address that a bit later on, but what I will say is that what we've tried to do here is strike a balance between the rights of consumers and the needs of businesses to have certainty in terms of the liabilities they carry on their books. So we've engaged extensively with businesses, with retailers, and with consumers. And what our bill is attempting to do is strike the right balance between the rights of consumers in New South Wales and the needs of businesses to be able to continue to operate, employ and pay taxes. A mandatory minimum period of 3 years will allow consumers to maximise the full value of a gift card by allowing them sufficient time to redeem a card. Gift cards sold for a period shorter than the maximum expiry period will be void, and there are penalties for those who do not comply with these provisions. This allows the currently diverse practices of businesses to be streamlined, minimising further confusion by consumers. These provisions will enable New South Wales consumers to redeem the full value of a gift card with the certainty of the value remaining the same, as any post-purchase administrative fee is prohibited during the 3-year expiry period. I mean, this business of charging post-purchase fees, reducing the value of gift cards, meaning consumers are not getting what they pay for, is just a complete racket. Our bill today will bring an end to that practice. Consumers deserve to get what they pay for. When they hand over their hard-earned money, they deserve to get a good or service in return. And no amount of whinging from the shopping centre council or big business in this state is going to convince me otherwise. These reforms exclude certain gift cards, including gift cards issued in exchange for returning goods or services, prepaid internet or phone cards, cards issued by financial institutions such as debit, credit or travel cards, and cards offered as part of a customer loyalty program. And just while we're on the topic of gift cards, this has been extremely well received by consumers right across New South Wales. Indeed, consumers right around the country are excited that New South Wales is leading the way when it comes to protecting their rights when buying gift cards. And again, I'm calling on other states and territories and the Commonwealth to follow New South Wales' example, follow our lead, and introducing minimum expiry dates on gift cards of 3 years at the least. We think this is best practice, and we call on other states and territories to put their consumers first as well and give them a fair chance of getting the goods and services that they paid for. And let me tell you, Mr. Speaker, this has not been without its challenges, getting this bill to this place, getting it through the Parliament. We have had huge opposition from vested interests. Huge opposition from big business and retailers in this state, and they have sent their lobbyists to try and heavy me into not putting consumers first, into ensuring that this gift card racket can continue. And why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? They're pocketing $60 million of New South Wales consumers' money every year without doing anything in return. Now, I read you'll note my comments in the Sydney Morning Herald today with regard to a lobby group, and that's what they are, a lobby group, the Australian Retailers Association, headed up by Mr. Russell Zimmerman. This body went to extreme lengths to stop consumers being put first in this state. To continue to fight, they were fighting to allow big businesses to continue to pocket their money without providing anything in return. They lobbied 12 government ministers. They went around my back to the Premier. They threatened my office with war. It was an absolute disgrace, and they did a great disservice to the members of the Australian Retailers Association. Let me be clear to people like Russell Zimmerman, and any other lobbyist for that matter. I'm not going to be pushed around by you or big business in any way, shape or form. I will always stand up for consumers in New South Wales, and I'm always going to stand up for the little guy in the face of vested interests and big business. I will never be bullied by these vested interests, whether it be with regard to gift cards or any other issue around consumer protection, so long as I'm the Fair Trading Minister in New South Wales. Mr. Speaker, this reform sets out important consumer protections, and it's disappointing that people like Mr. Russell Zimmerman and the Australian Retailers Association have campaigned so strongly against these reforms. People like Russell Zimmerman need to be transparent about the businesses that he represents. I mean, this is an industry group coming to lobby government, and they should be required to adhere to the same standards that any other lobbyist is required to do. I mean, an organisation like this purports to be representing small businesses. Well, when I asked Mr. Zimmerman to disclose exactly the businesses that are paying his meal ticket, he refused to do so. Now, I think it's quite disappointing. I've heard rumours that this organisation is funded by big businesses that benefit from gift cards, like David Jones and Myer, Kmart, JB Hi-Fi. They're some of the names that have been bandied around. Mr. Zimmerman should have been transparent that the beneficiaries of the gift card racket were the ones paying his meal ticket. So, Mr. Speaker, I want people like Russell Zimmerman to be more transparent when lobbying me as the minister. Who's paying your ticket? Who are you lobbying on behalf of? What your interest is. I want them to disclose. I need to disclose my meetings, Mr. Speaker, and I think organisations like the Australian Retailers Association should disclose theirs. What we're doing is we want to protect consumers in New South Wales, and we want to outlaw practices that rip off the little guy. I also want to say lobbyists like Kristen Price do their clients a great disservice by lecturing ministers on what is and is not good public policy. I'll be the judge of that as the minister, and I'm happy to work. I want it to be known to businesses right across this state. You don't need a lobbyist to come in and access my office. My door will be open to anyone that wants to put consumers first and has any ideas that will protect the little people in New South Wales. Mr. Speaker, in the other place, the opposition moved an amendment to the gift card provision to commence on the 1st of December. And the government is committed to these reforms that put consumers first, and we'd like them implemented as soon as possible. However, we also believe that we need to get the implementation right. In relation to gift cards, we need to strike a balance between consumer needs and business operational restraints. The government will be working with retailers to make these changes happen as soon as we can. Can I just say that getting the bill to this place was a Herculean effort, and I want to thank the outstanding members of my department who have worked tirelessly to bring it to this place. Could I acknowledge the work of Gabby Mangos, Lachlan Mallop, Diana Holly, who's here today with Lachlan, Pauline Lynn, Maggie Fang, Marcel Savary, John Tansey, Graham Mundy, Katerina Mazza, and also Vino and Rena Mars. They've done outstanding work, and I'm so proud to work with them every day of the week. Thank you for what you do to put consumers first in this state. But there is no doubt this wouldn't have happened without the outstanding ministerial team that I lead. I've got some of the brightest, most passionate and dedicated staff members that you will find. And I'd particularly like to acknowledge Julia Stewart, Aaron Wakely, Brooke Eggleton, Richard Hodge, Christine Chalker, Alex Roberts, and of course my brilliant Chair of Staff, Ben Coles. Mr. Speaker, I commend this bill to the House.
I'd like to thank the Minister for